Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sanders and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today I want to talk about three different micro brands. And all three of these brands have survived more than a year. In other words, they're not one of these sort of group funded, mob funded brands that come and go like leaves in the fall. But rather, these are brands that I found really interesting. One, Dumoret. This is our grand prize for the Grand Prix picks that we have every year, and the one who picks the most winners, this is the watch they win. But the thing about it I wanted to show, this comes all tied up in a bow, but the case, here's the bow that it comes in right here. I mean, it's really a very nicely done. And this is the case, and it's I mean, these things. This is a very nice case for that, and there's the watch. Now, there are a lot of things I like about this watch, and first of all, it's hand wound. The other thing has to do with the quality of the design of the dial. Having been going through that with a couple of different projects with Larique, dials are not as necessarily as simple as we think. This is the Dumoret DM02. There's a group in Switzerland. Let me see, I got this right here. A group in Switzerland that Carlo Aleo works with. They're called Rosenta Hennex, and they're a Swiss firm for creating the case, for working with Carlo and to get the dial right, and then of course the hands. And the movement is an elaborate Solida. That's sort of the middle grade of movement they have. They have the basic grade, and then they have the top grade, and in between there's an elaborate grade. And the elaborate grade includes some anglage and a little better timing and so forth. But the other thing I like about this watch, and I like about Dumoret, there's no pretense. There's not pretending that it's, oh, this is a Swiss movement, and not tell you who it is. I mean, it could be, anything from, some top movement maker like Washer or Agenor, or it could be something else, and sometimes it's often hidden in the descriptions of their watches. All three of these brands, by the way, tell you what they've got, and you can see the quality of the watch. Now, another thing, I don't know how they do this. If you try to ship a watch into the United States, outside of the United States, with gator straps, now there are farm-raised gators, just like they're farm-raised cows for cowhide, but shipping them, their origin could have been in some gator farm in Florida, but if you ship them from outside the U.S. into the U.S., you run into a problem. But you get actual gator straps, and they are Dumoret straps. I mean, it's really amazing how they do this. Now, the other thing is that they sell them for $1,250. I'm not sure how they do that with a nice box, a nice case, and a nice watch. But it's sort of more than your run-of-the-mill kind of micro brand that you have, Dumoret. The second one is another one that I like for a very different reason. This is by, they're called R. Page. here there are a lot of different really fun and interesting dials. Page is very much of a designer. He's not a, a, a movement designer, but he is a good watch designer, and especially the designs and the cases and stuff are all very unique. The movement he uses is a very interesting one. It's called a Caliber DB6, and there are two of them. One's called a DB6, and the other one's called a DB9. Now, they're based on an ETA 6498-2, which means they have a 3 hertz movement, 21,600 semi-oscillations per hour. I like those. And you can see if you the back of it, it doesn't look like your typical 6498 design. By the way, DB6 means the small seconds at 6 o'clock, and DB9 means they're at 9 o'clock. The 9 is from the 6497. So in looking at these dials, they're just different. One of my favorite is the Chrysler Building, which I thought was the little thing. I was in New York just last week, and there's the old Chrysler Building, and they have the little sort of the crown on it. The Art Deco design too. There's a certain what I call a Manhattan style Art Deco, and our Pages watches have it, and the range of their prices are very reasonable. The jukebox Bauhaus is $1,800, and all the way up to the Chrysler Building is $3,200. None of those are, in terms of the different ways we watch collectors go broke, isn't bad. Now, the final one is Furlan Mari, and Furlan Mari they have a very interesting style. There's sort of a brand that they have mechanical, and then they have quartz movements. And of course, I just want to focus on the mechanical movements. Right now in the Grand Prix, I don't know if this made it to the finals or not, but I think it did. The Furlan in the challenge category, the Furlan Mari Disco Verde, the Swiss franc price is $2,500. And then they have another one. And by the way, too, the movement is a Pezu 7001. Well, years ago, ETA bought Pezu, and so you have sort of it's really a Pezu ETA 7001, hand wound, 21,600 semi-oscillations per hour. One thing, if you take a look at that, if you take a look at the ETA 7001, and then you look at this one, you can really see the work they've done on it. There's extensive englaze, especially on the plate, right below where you have the balance wheel, and then you can sort of get a peek at the escapement and that whole mechanism in there. The other one they have is more economical. It's called the Outback Elegy. I'm not sure where they got that name from. It has an interesting movement called the Jaeger-Perregaux G100, 4 hertz. And the thing about this one is that Jaeger-Perregaux pretty much took something from the Miyota 9 family and included a 68-hour reserve in it. The other ones had been something like 40 hours. I'm not sure how they did it. At first I thought, well, what they did is that they lowered the frequency, but no, they kept it at 4 hertz. So anyway, these are three micro brands that I think have done a good job. On every single one of them, they told you what the movement was. The G100 and the Pezu 7001 On the other ones, they have the Solida, and then they had the one for our page was a version, the DB6 and the DB9 that they have. Neat watches for micro brands. Thought you might be interested. They're affordable, and so you got another set of choices. Let me know what you think, and until next time, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection.